2023 was the year that I actually started to take my life seriously and everything changed. I quit my 9-to-5 job, I started an online shop, I got the biggest clients that I literally could not have ever imagined having. So how on earth did I do all of this? Goal setting. Let's get into it. So let's rewind a little bit and talk about how I got here and how I even set myself up to make 2023 the best year ever. In 2021 and 2022, I was working as a marketing person, whatever. I was working in marketing, let's just say that. The job was good, but I was miserable and I knew that there was something more for me out there and there was something calling my name. I started drawing in 2019 and illustrating because I wanted to learn how to get better at drawing so that I could be a photographer. Literally, photography was my dream since I was a kid. So in 2019, I decided that in order to be a photographer, I needed to know how to storyboard, and so I bought an iPad and I started drawing every single day for a whole year in 2019, and that's how I fell in love with digital art, and I literally have not looked back since. But then fast forward, after I graduated, I got a job in marketing. I did it because 2021, we've already been a year into the pandemic, all of my peers are getting jobs, so I was like, this seems like the right thing to do. I worked in the job for exactly 1 year, from 2021 to I think April 2022, and after that, I kind of was lost for a little bit of the year. I was really into the Web3 space, so I was working with a few different companies. I was posting my own NFTs. I just had no really end goal or even like mini goals of what I wanted for my life, of where I wanted to go, of how I wanted to achieve. I didn't even know what I wanted to achieve, let alone how I wanted to achieve it. I just knew that I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be a full-time artist. I just didn't know how. I traveled a lot. I went to a lot of Web3 conferences. I spent that year networking with people, talking to people. But when people would talk to me and they would say, what do you do? And I told them I quit my job to be an artist, and they're like, okay, well, how are you doing that? I would hate that question because I literally would never know how to answer it, and I felt like crap because meanwhile people are talking about their successful jobs and how they're getting raises and salaries, and I'm just here like, yeah, I quit my job and I'm making zero money right now and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I had no direction, no idea where I wanted to go and how I wanted to get there. Like, it was a crappy feeling. Even now, thinking about it and putting myself in the position of that in 2022, and like I dreaded talking to people about me and what I'm doing. So fast forward to November 2022, I launched an Etsy site because I said, all right, well, you know, I'm doing this full time. Maybe I'll focus on products. I'll sell stickers, art prints, cards. I did a little bit of this like in the pandemic in 2020, but I didn't take it seriously. So I was like, okay, let me relaunch the site, take it more seriously, and maybe this will be my career. So, you know, I see all the small business girlies on TikTok doing it. So I was like, okay, I can do it too. It did okay. It didn't do that well. But I think after this launch, it was kind of pivotal for me in a way that I was like, hey, it's time to take things seriously now. And so December is when I really started goal setting for myself and planning out the year and deciding what is it that I want to do. Obviously, I didn't know what was going to happen or how it was going to happen. I just knew that I need to start taking it seriously. And to do that for me was like goal setting and trying to actually achieve those goals. So 2023 was the first year of my entire life that I was going into it as a full-time artist, no other side job. I was literally relying on my art to make me money and myself to make me money. So I knew that I'd be putting myself out there more, and by putting myself out there more, I knew I'd be opening myself up to more rejection. And therefore, it was so important for me to pick a word of the year that would help me throughout the year that I knew that I would need. And that is why my word of the year for 2023 was resilience. So just already going into the year, I had the intention, like I knew that there was going to be hard times. I knew that there was going to be struggle, but I knew that anytime there would be struggle, I'd be resilient and I'd pick myself back up. And that was the mindset that I went into the year with. And mindset is such an important tool. It is probably like the most important thing is your mindset, because you can literally achieve anything as long as you already believe that you can. If your mindset isn't in the right place, you're literally not gonna achieve anything you wanna achieve. Before you start goal setting, before you start manifesting, before you start vision boarding, before you start anything, you need to have the right mindset towards things. And we'll talk more about all of that later on in the video, but yes, that's the first step for me, literally preparing my mind and having the right mindset going into the year. Before I started goal setting, I wanted to really think about the areas of focus that I wanted to see success in my life for 2023. And I kind of broke it down into, I call them like accountability pillars. Essentially, the areas of focus for me for 2023 were YouTube. I wanted to grow my channel. I wanted to post more. Etsy, because at the end of 2022, I actually just launched my Etsy site. And so I wanted to focus on products and selling them online, but also in person. So Etsy was kind of like the catch-all theme or category for that. Art was the third one, obviously, because I am a full-time artist and this was literally like the main source of income for me. And so I wanted to make sure I was learning, I was making art, I was posting art. Short form content was my next pillar of focus and growth. I wanted to make sure I was posting a lot on TikTok and Instagram Reels, and I was, kind of posing for the algorithm, but I wanted to grow my channels and just be consistent. So that was an area. And then lastly was health and wellness for me. I wanted to make sure I was exercising, eating well, because once you have a healthy mind and healthy life, the rest will follow. I'm gonna go back to mindset a little bit. Mindset is the most important thing. You can have all your areas of focus, you can have your categories, you can have your word of the year, but if your head isn't in the right place and you aren't focused and you aren't determined, I'm sorry, you're not gonna go where you wanna go, like just straight up. It has to all start from here. You gotta tell yourself that you already have what it is that you want to achieve. I love to travel, but I told myself that in 2023, I was not traveling, not once, nowhere. The reason for this is because I knew that if I stayed in one place, it would allow me to really focus and create a routine of how I'm gonna be getting work done, reaching out to people, basically a routine of how I'm gonna achieve all these categories of success. It wasn't a punishment for me, but it was kind of like, because I knew how much I like to travel, I knew that if I really took the year to focus it on my business and sacrifice traveling, once I achieved all the things I wanted to achieve this year, I could really treat myself to travel in 2024. I do have a trip planned, so stay tuned for that. Not only that, but going into the year, I told myself that I already had every single thing that I wanted. I already told myself that I am a big well-known artist. I already told myself that I work with the biggest brands ever. I already told myself that I am financially free. All these things that I wanted to achieve, I told myself that I already had it. And that is literally the basic of law of attraction. And I know that not everybody believes in this stuff, but it is scientifically proven that we are all made out of energy. So if you are constantly putting out good energy and good vibrations, good energy and good vibrations are gonna follow you back, and that's what you're gonna be rewarded with. It is also scientifically proven that when you tell yourself something over and over again, you're literally tricking your brain into believing that it's true. So instead of I want to be rich, I would say I am rich. Instead of I want to be a good artist, I am a good artist. I'm telling my brain that I already am these things, and there's so much power in that. I don't think people understand how powerful the mind is. And I kid you not, coming from 2022 where I was really confused, going into 2023, I had my goals, but I didn't know how I was gonna achieve them. But somehow, in some way, I figured it out. I worked with Scotiabank. I made my biggest commission. Guys, I kid you not, on my vision board, I put 10K a month, and I literally at the end of 2023 in November surpassed that. I put that on my vision board, not knowing how I was gonna achieve it, when I was gonna achieve it. I was scared to put it on there, but I put it on there, and it literally came true because I had my goals and I worked towards them, and I told myself I already had those things. So that's literally how powerful goal setting and manifestation and vision boarding and it's just that's literally how powerful they all are, okay? So another thing that totally changed the trajectory of 2023 for me was raising my standards, okay? And this was in all aspects of life. It was in my interpersonal relationships, it was how I treated myself, it was the clients I got, it was my romantic relationship, everything. I raised my standards and what I expected of people and what I wanted to put out into the world. And that helped me a lot because no longer was I accepting client work from people who couldn't afford what I knew I was worth. No longer was I being friends with people who wouldn't reciprocate positive energy back to me. The person that I put on my vision board and in my goals is not the person that accepts $100 commissions. It's not the person that accepts crappy friends. Lastly, a major area that helped me was finding community. I think this is so underrated. In 2022, when people started asking me what I was doing, and let's say there are people working in their 9-to-5 jobs, they don't really understand what it is I'm doing, which is chasing my dream and doing something out of the norm. People don't understand that. It did start to affect me. It started to make me feel like, what the hell am I doing? Is this even the right path? Should I go back and get a job? That is why it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded people and people who are on the same boat as you. So I started going out to events alone and meeting creative people and networking with them and just being around them because all of them understood why I'm doing what I'm doing, regardless of if they were visual artists or musicians. It didn't matter what kind of creative industry they were in. The fact that we were all doing something creative and we all knew that we wanted something more for our lives and we were dreaming bigger connected us in a way that you don't find anywhere else. And because of that, we're able to support each other and encourage each other. And that, I tell you, makes the world of a difference, because when you are only surrounding yourself with people who are working their 9-to-5 jobs and after that they binge Netflix, that's good for them, but you're gonna feel like, well, am I doing something wrong? Like, you're not gonna feel encouraged, you're not gonna feel like you're on the right path. Like, it's not good for you. I really do owe it to all the people that I met in 2023 who encouraged me and helped me and believed in me. I think that is such an underrated thing and it goes so far. Also, honorable mention, I did listen to a lot of podcasts podcasts that helped me with mindset. Some of them include Your Manifesting Bestie, which is my absolute favorite podcast. It talks about law of attraction and all the different laws of putting yourself in a way where the universe is going to reciprocate what you put out there. And it really helped me change my mindset. I used to listen to an episode every day while walking my dog, and sometimes I would even re-listen to episodes because it just put me in the right headspace to do my everyday thing. Another really good one was the In Flow podcast. This is more health and wellness, and the two hosts talk more about launching their own business and kind of encourage community vibe to like encourage each other to put yourself out there. And the third one is The Professional Creative by Bonnie and Christine, and this one was less spiritual than the other two. It's more so kind of having a creative business and how to go about it and like running a business. And this really helped me understand what was possible for myself, because before Bonnie and Christine, I had no idea what was possible through being a full-time artist. So that podcast helps me a lot. It gives me a lot of tips on marketing my work, but also how to be creative and practice creativity. So those are the top 3 podcasts that helped me so much with my mindset in 2023. Love them, still listen to them to this day. If you like this video, make sure to go check out my 2024 goal planning video where I actually go into detail about how I goal plan for my year. So if you want to actually change your life like I did, make sure you go check that out because I know you're really gonna like it. And no, it doesn't matter that the year has already started because you can goal set whenever you want. In fact, the vision board that I made for 2023, I didn't even make that till March and 90% of it still came true. You don't need a fresh year to change your life. You can literally change your life any month of the year, any week, any day. It all starts from here, okay? Go watch that video. Go change your life. If me, a girl from a small town outside of Toronto, can do it, you can do it, okay? I'll see you in the next video. Peace.